Hey guys, as you know, I'm a scientist and I run lots of experiments. And the good thing is I run also lots of experiments on myself because I think it's lots of fun and I decided to share some of the experiments with you. Just recently I looked into the topic self-control because I think it's such an important topic for everyday life, like your work, but also for training and diet compliance. Because if you don't have enough self-control, then it's so much more difficult to stick to the diet. And when I looked into this topic, I came across this paper, and what it describes is actually if there are tasks where you have to have lots of self-control, lots of willpower to do them, then your kind of willpower gets depleted and your self-control isn't that great anymore. What the researchers found when they have taken subjects into the lab and made them doing tasks that require lots of self-control, their blood glucose level dropped. And because of this drop of blood glucose level, these subjects weren't able to do following challenging tasks as well, and they couldn't have so much self-control doing them, so their performance dropped. And then the researchers came up with the idea, okay, what if we will give them a sugar drink between the tasks? So they had first self-control depleting task, or like willpower depleting task, where they had to have a lot of self-control. Then they didn't have enough self-control or like willpower for the second task, so they gave them sugar water to drink, and then they performed better on the second task, which is a really interesting finding in my opinion. And I think this is also the reason why, so many people are prone to emotional eating or overeating if something stressful happens. Or even people who study, it was the same with me when I study. I want to take breaks and have maybe smaller meals and eat something in between. And lots of students gain actually lots of weight because when they're studying, they eat all the chocolate and cookies. And this is actually a logical explanation for it. Imagine a person who does emotional eating. It's like if the person had a really stressful morning at work and it took lots of willpower not to tell to his or her boss that he's an idiot, and then the person goes on a lunch break and has some muffins, chocolate, donuts, whatever, like sugary treats to refill the kind of self-control or like to bring the kind of willpower back into balance to be able to do like stressful and challenging tasks later in the day. So for me, it makes actually total sense. And I see this as one of the big problems why so many people can't really stick to their diets when something bad or stressful happens. So my idea was, how can I actually turn it into advantage? If there is this kind of process in nature, and that's what researchers found, and their explanation is actually pretty good in my opinion, what actually happens, I was like, okay, how can I take actually advantage of it? That's why I decided to start a self-experiment. What I want to do, I want to increase my productivity by running this experiment. So usually I do challenging tasks that demand lots of work in the morning. And my idea is just to, when I take break between the tasks, to have something that is high in glucose. I wasn't really keen on drinking sugar water like in the study, just because of the health perspective. So I was thinking like, what can I do instead? A similar option that is a little bit more healthy is juice. To be honest, there are many things why I don't really like juices, like because they remove fiber, it's also like kind of isolated sugar, and they add lots of calories, they don't keep you full for longer, and so on and so on. So there are many things I don't really like them. And actually the same applies for smoothies. But now, for the sake of the experiment, I want to try it. It's definitely better than sugar water. So in the mornings, I have usually 1.5 hour, 2 hour working slots. And then by the end of my working slot, I really realize that, okay, I'm really tired. I'm not so motivated to go on with my next task. So in my breaks, I plan to have just a glass of smoothie and see if my willpower will go up. But it's not the end. I will run it for 5 days, so I have enough time to get used to it and to collect data, so I will record everything. And then afterwards, I want to try whole foods. I want to try just fruits instead of smoothies or juices, just because I think, well, it's not just because I think, it's because fruits are in general a healthier option. But the concern I have is just maybe the fruit sugar from fruits won't be delivered as fast to my bloodstream, also because of the fiber. That's why I want to start with smoothies. And after 5 days with whole fruits, I'm thinking of trying another thing. I'm thinking actually to go for dextrose tablets. And the reason is that, for example, for powerlifting competitions before my lifts, I usually have the small dextrose tablets, and I realize that they give me lots of energy, and I think I'm not really sure if it's just because it's already so metabolized so fast, or if I have just the impression that I get more energy. Because there was actually some research on cyclists that has shown that if they consume like sugar drink after a really hard workout, then they can continue with the workout. They kind of refill their energy. But then if they just rinse their mouth with the kind of sugar drink without really drinking it, the same thing happens. So the theory is that there are some sugar receptors in our mouths, and if we sense kind of sugar, then actually our brain thinks, okay, we have energy, our body thinks, and then even if we don't really ingest it, then we still get energy from it and beneficial effects. That's why my big question also for this experiment is, would just dextrose tablet, which is like, 3 calories per tablet. So it's like, it doesn't add so much on sugar, so much on calories. Will the dextrose tablets do the job as well? Can I also kind of trick my body? And I think if it really works, it would be amazing, because it would have lots of beneficial effects. Like if just one dextrose tablet could increase your work productivity, it would be great. Or also your diet compliance, because dieting and cutting calories needs lots of willpower, and if willpower gets depleted also by challenging and stressful situations in your life, then if instead of going for a binge or cheat meal, if a person could just have one dextrose tablet with 3 calories per tablet, and it would work actually to refill or replenish the willpower, it would be absolutely amazing. Or imagine the other scenario. You go for a big meal with your friends, like a big buffet, and in the ideal case, you shouldn't overeat, just because, if you overeat, it's not such a good thing for your body composition. So you have to have a lot of willpower not to overeat when you go out for this buffet. And if this theory with glucose and increasing willpower works, then maybe it will be just enough to have like a dextrose tablet before you start your meal, and then you will automatically eat less, because you can resist temptations and you have more willpower just to eat what you really need to get full or not being that hungry anymore, and will have the willpower not to overeat. Well, even if it's not just about this dextrose tablet, if it's about, for example, a juice or a smoothie, if it would have the same effect or like really big effect, then if you order an orange juice at the beginning of your meal, have this, 150 calories, but then because of this, you will have more willpower to resist temptations later in the meal, which will make you eating less, and you might save hundreds of calories. I think if it would be the case, it would be absolutely amazing, because it would make dieting so much easier, also maybe training, working, and not falling off the wagon. That's why I decided to run this experiment. I'm super excited about it. I will record everything. I will record all my data. I will track everything. I will keep you up to date. And if you want to join me and do this experiment with me, It would be really amazing. Just comment below or write me an email or message, and I'm happy to share all the details and all the sheets for tracking with you. I think the more people would do it, the better it is, because if it's just me, there's also a high chance that I'm just biased, that for me maybe it will work because of the placebo effect, because I think that it works for me. So if you want to join me, just feel free to let me know, and it would be absolutely amazing. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit the subscription button down below and subscribe. And see you the next time.